Here are 5 things I wish I knew, really wish I knew, when I was starting as a beginner. Number 1, listen to recordings. I am putting this number 1 because no matter where you are or who you are as a beginner, whether you are starting as a beginner in a school program or with a private teacher or even just on your own, you can go and do this. It's not a skill you have to learn first. You can go and do it right now. Well, watch the rest of this video first. It's really good stuff. But when you're done, or after you've watched all the videos I'm going to recommend to you, go and listen to the recordings of the pieces you are learning and going to be learning. Yes, listen for right now and listen ahead. We are living in the greatest time in the history of the earth for listening to recordings and watching supplemental resources like tutorials and performances. You are already here on the platform that provides it. Listen, listen, and listen some more. You can't do it too much, and it will save you so much time. I mean, it will save you so much time. I can't stress that enough. So take the time to do it. Like any project or other pursuit in its instructions, it's the plans. It's the model of the final product that we are trying to achieve. Think about anything ever that you have put together. You looked to see what the final thing was supposed to look like. You did this to make sure you put it together correctly. Yet, we so often don't take the time to listen to recordings of the things we are learning. Number 2, take detailed notes during your lessons. What makes any pursuit or any fine art an amazing journey is that there are so many things to learn and get better at. It never ends. You know, it's why people play instruments for their entire lives. The great challenge, sometimes overwhelming challenge of the creative arts is that, well, there are so many things to learn and get better at. I will go so far as to say it is impossible to remember every single thing you're supposed to work on during the week between lessons. Even if you could just remember the list, that still wouldn't tell you the details. For example, you might remember that you were supposed to work on your bow hold, but what exactly was it that you were supposed to improve about your bow hold? This is the same for advanced students, by the way, because the new concepts keep coming and they get more wonderfully complex. I mention that to say this need for better notes doesn't go away. So, learn to take great notes now in the beginning, and it will be a good habit you take with you on the rest of your cello journey. Number 3, make sure you have the correct size cello. What I see the most often when I see students with the wrong size instrument is students with instruments that are too big. Occasionally, I see a student with one too small, but it's rare. Everyone wants to play a bigger instrument because it seems better. There is nothing more frustrating, though, than being uncomfortable and not being able to perform the task at hand because you simply can't deal with the instrument. And certainly it is no fun if you are hurting or sore because the instrument is too big. Let's make sure that never happens. If you need help, I have a video on the channel all about sizing and making sure you choose the correct one. The best analogy I can give you is shoes. Sports and shoes. Most competitive sports, not all, but most require some kind of athletic shoe to participate fully and be competitive. You wouldn't dream of buying a pair that is too big. Why? It's obvious. You wouldn't be able to keep up. You would get hurt. You would end up wasting your time. You simply would not be able to play the sport you got the shoes for. It's the same with cello. If you're liking this and getting some good stuff out of it, please consider subscribing. And while you are down there in the comments, if your main sport doesn't require shoes, put that in the comments and I'll see what analogy I can come up with about cello sizing. Plus, it would be fun to know what sports you guys are doing out there. When I was a beginner, mine was baseball. Okay, moving on. Number 4, find a good teacher. This is so important at the beginning to make sure you get the best information and a good setup. It is so much easier to form good habits in the beginning and so terribly difficult to break bad ones later on. This is the number 1 reason students quit later on. They hit a wall of ability they just can't move past, and that wall is usually always created by some bad habit. You want someone who is going to be strict with you about the setup in the beginning. This is the job of your cello teacher. Kind, but strict. I use the word kindness in this section in the strict sense to describe someone who is going to be very honest and candid with you because they care about your progress. Don't stay with anyone that is mean and just barks a bunch of commands at you. But also, don't stay with someone who is always just giving you compliments. If you are a true beginner on a stringed instrument and you are not getting constructive feedback, just a lot of, good job, well done, you need a different teacher. And parents, if you're watching this, remember that kindness and standards of excellence are not mutually exclusive. You can find a teacher with both. I know it seems like we are shooting for the moon here, but I promise we are not. Just take the time to look around and take advantage of this opportunity to take several trial lessons with several different teachers. Like the cello itself, you're committing to this journey with this teacher and will be with them for a while, so make sure you choose well. Number 5, record yourself on a regular basis and watch it back. Listen to yourself as an outside observer. You are doing something which is completely foreign to your ears, at least from the perspective of now being a performer and not just a passive listener. It is impossible as a beginner to play and at the same time take in and hear everything you need to hear to progress. The recording gives you a chance to put the cello down and just listen to yourself as an outside objective observer. I have to tell you, when I was a beginner in 1988, there were no cell phones to record with. If you could afford it, you could get a video camera that recorded directly to VHS tape. That was top of the line technology. I think we had one, but it had to be hooked up to the actual VHS player recorder. It did not record natively, like you couldn't actually put a tape in the camera. My dad was still using his Super 8 no sound sped up camera to record some home movies fairly often at that point. One viable option that would have been available at the time was the Sony Walkman, the version that you could record yourself on. I actually used one of those later on in college before I upgraded to the latest and greatest technology of the 90s, the mini disc recorder. I know you've never heard of any of these. The point is, if I had had this information, if I had known how important it was to record myself and listen back, I would have begged my parents for one of those handheld tape recorders, and it would have made a huge difference for me. Now, a bonus tip for you since you are still here. It's kind of a bonus, but also kind of number 1 and number 5 rolled into a super tip, a super power up cello tip. I mentioned taking detailed notes. I said it that way because I thought it would be a little harsh though to come out of the gate saying, listen to your teacher. But that is one of the big mistakes beginners make. You took the time to find a great teacher. You followed that step, and you found one that really does know a lot. They have been there where you are, and they know the path you are starting down. Take their advice and use their knowledge. They are going to have a lot of it, and you can't rewind it like you can this video, so take great notes and listen to them. And be proactive about checking yourself. So many students think they are listening to their teachers when they actually aren't. It's just part of being a beginner. I don't think it's on purpose. I think it is for the reason I have said several times. There is just a lot to think about. There's just too much to keep up with. It's impossible, in fact, to remember it all in between lessons, and even more impossible to catch yourself doing things incorrectly. I mean, you're a beginner. You've never done this before. That is why the combination of taking great notes and recording yourself is so vital to your success. It means that you're continually checking yourself to see if you are actually doing what your teacher has asked you. You have to be there in the practice sessions, proactively checking. Did I do fill in the blank that my teacher asked me to do? Let me look at my notes. Let me make a recording of myself and check. Did I play through fill in the blank the way my teacher asked? Let me check my notes and record myself to double check. Yes, going back through your amazing, most excellent notes is going to take time. It is going to take time to record yourself and listen back. But these are investments of time that are going to pay you back tenfold in the time that you save. I guarantee it. In fact, I'll prove it to you. Think about not going back through your notes, of not checking, and taking 10 lessons. Of taking 15 lessons, 20 lessons. Oh, that's really extreme to get through a piece of music. Now, as a Suzuki teacher, as most any teacher would tell you, everyone at their own pace. That's important. There's no set guidelines. You want to make a great tone, you want to play in tune, you want to play musically, and you get there when you get there. That is important. With the caveat that we should always be moving forward, right? So when you're thinking about, oh, it's going to take too much time to look at the notes, it's going to take too much time to record myself, think about how many lessons you're going to save, how much sooner you're going to get there, all right, to the goal, cross the finish line, so to speak, if you will look at your notes, take great notes, look at those notes, and record yourself to see if you're actually doing them. Now, if you do want some help on how to practice with your cell phone, I do have a video all about that, and you can check it out right here.